Hello and welcome to Tuesday Tools, where we go over tools for your marketing campaigns, being an effective marketer with these tools, and just how to use them. First one we're doing here, I even dressed nice. No, I've got a meeting later. But this one is actually a tool I don't use that often. I find it to be very useful. I find it to be very insightful, but I mainly use it when I'm like, I need more insight here and I feel like being technical. And people that have a little bit more of a technical brain with content will love this. So this is called Voyant Tools, and essentially what you can do is you drop a URL in. I already uploaded my pages, so then we don't have to wait for it to assess it. But I'm using it today actually because of a client that I have, Peak Integrative Medicine. They're amazing. They're really cool in what they do. They're local to Orgsburg, right down the road from me. And the work that they do, they're doing case studies with some of their patients that are up for it. And they basically look at the case by case health benefits and process that they go through. And they write up their own case study. Now, this content is fully focused on the case study, but does not really highlight the keywords around it. And I already went through and did a little bit of optimizing in the headings of having certain headings optimized and everything, but I want to get a little bit more insight into what was written and guidance on how I can optimize it even more. Now we did a little slight scan of this and what it shows me in this tool. So let me just show you so you know what's happening here. So you copy the URL or you copy the text, you paste it in there, and you reveal the information. And it takes a while sometimes, so that's why I pre-uploaded everything. Now, what this shows me, and this is honestly my favorite part, is over here, it shows me keywords and where they're located throughout the entire article. So let's IVF, in vitro for fertilization, basically to get pregnant and everything. This term shows up continually throughout the article, dips in the 5th percentile segment, but jumps up right around here. And the cool part is we can look at the segments over here to determine where it is. So like right here, the challenges of IVF and miscarriage and these topics, this is where it shows up a lot. But then like towards the end, it dips off and doesn't show up at all because, well, we have a call to action, and then this is also just the stuff in the footer. So that's where you always see a dip at the end, usually from that, and a dip at the beginning from the menu stuff, or actually, yeah, right there's the menu, all that kind of junk. But from like a more technical standpoint, this is extremely useful because it can kind of give you a little bit of a view of like, what is this highlighting? So like 2023, 2024, that's bringing up the years and time frames of things that they've done and health related. But then I see small words like pregnancy, diet, fertility. These words probably should show up higher, or anxiety. There's a mention of Facebook and gut. Facebook can be because of the footer and things like that, but or actually I think they saw an article on Facebook and that's what made them want to go with them. But then like syndrome, obstetrician, these different keywords are barely showing up, and they could be things that we want to increase how much they show up in the article, not to keyword stuff, but to simply make it more obvious the content on what it's talking about, because that is the highlight of the content. And it's fun doing this like with SEO optimized articles versus articles that are written like I would say these case studies are written more to touch on the personal side and are like a personal story, and that's extremely valuable. But if we kind of tighten it up where we have a bit more of that focus on, I would say maybe even adding a section on the diet and how that diet worked out. Now, of course, I've already read through the article, did a little bit of optimizing on it, that I have that insight. But with this tool, I can get even more insight onto what is located where and what can be more focused on. And like there's also no mention of Ashley right at the beginning, which is interesting. But then it's like very strong and then dips off. That could be from the header footer part. I don't know. But with this, there's also so much more. I'm going to move my face over here. There's a breakdown of the vocab density, the readability index. Readability index, I have never seen it go over 70%. It's like unless it's written at a very like first grade level and very basic, it does not go very high. So don't get all up in arms about that. But what you can break down are like, okay, this is the document, amount of words, types, ratio, the words per sentence, but then we can go into phrases. So like this guides me if I'm reviewing an article, maybe I want to get more variety. If the words per sentence is really low, I'll just in enjoying quality content, a variety of sentence lengths is better. And using them, like if I want to make something seem very abrupt, very this gets into creative writing, but if I want to make things have more of a like urgency feel, I'll use shorter sentences. If I want to make somebody feel more comfortable, more meandering in a sense, I'll use longer sentences and comparative sentences, because in English language that really like it carries through it in the style of the writing. That's a very nuanced skill that not a lot of people use, but that's just a little fun tidbit there. But then like phrases, this is cool because I can see another round of IVF as she prepared for. This gives me concepts, a dead end, and this is also the phrases that a dead end. The person that wrote this, that's a phrase that they probably use a lot in their writing. Now, mental and physical. This is really, really nice when you are reviewing the same writer. Like, so if you get a new SEO client and you are reviewing, or you become a marketer in-house and they wrote tons of past content and you're reviewing that past content, this is a way that you can really get deep into their content. You can figure out who is writing it, why they're writing it, and their little weird phrases that you might not like and want to switch out. But they've got everything from context to the bubble lines of how things show up, and then collocates and the repetition of different words. But these, the way that this chart's displayed, you can change. I like the lined and stacked bar the best, but then there's like area ones that show what dominates really. The line and stacked bar, you can visually see everything. And like Ashley's the main character, so her name should show up a lot. So for her, in her experience, we get to see that she is present throughout it. That's like good. All right, health. Where is health mentioned? Why is it mentioned more here? Why isn't it mentioned at the opening or here? Well, it's not mentioned at the opening because the opening just discusses her personal story, how she came about it and everything. And it's so it depends on how you are as a person, but this tool is really awesome for breaking things down. It's really great for extremely long articles. So I wrote this article years ago. It's insanely long. It goes through, I literally made a table of contents because it goes through marketing for construction companies in all of these different formats, because there's SEO, there's pay-per-click, there's social media, email, content. That's just digital marketing. But then there's traditional marketing. There's like, honestly, like internal marketing tips for construction companies. I'm like, you guys got to take better photos, like get it together, people. But in general, trying to review a 4,000 word article that I wrote years ago, I'm like, I don't remember what I wrote. I don't remember the details of it. So we do an assessment of it and how much things are mentioned, and construction is mentioned excessively. I definitely keyword stuff this. It's not going to rank because I keyword stuff this, and got to lighten it up, take out construction, put in contracting a little bit more, mix it up a little bit. Pay-per-click has a massive spike here. Why? Because that is the pay-per-click. Here, let me make it obvious. This is the pay-per-click section. This is where you can see like, oh, that's where he's writing about pay-per-click. But then marketing is all over, but barely shows up for pay-per-click marketing. Construction is throughout, but company. Okay, let's not say construction company, even though that flows off the tongue. Construction business. Business shows up. Never mind. Stick with construction company and mix it up. There's a balance of the two. So, and this all could be tied in with like a marketing company or a construction company. But this does give a nice little breakdown. What I really love is being able to see over here these, oh, my face is in the way. Sorry. These different things like customer or and we can see this when I click on them over here. Ads, ads shows up with pay-per-click ads. But then let's see, photos, that shows up towards the beginning where I do the breakdown of the photos in that context. Let's see where it is. Photography tips right here. Now, there are a lot of things that you can do with this tool. I would love for you guys to play with it more. Tell me what you see. But here's the social section, local, customers. Ooh, customers should be mentioned a lot. I wonder why it dies off in the quarter there. That's something to look into. So that would be right around. Okay, so there's a bunch there. So I think that's that spike, but then it dies off right here. And I do not mention customers in the SEO section, it looks like. I mentioned it once here. That is interesting. So that's something I could improve on saying about your construction customers are Googling online. That's a great place to find them. Let's go through here on the phrases. Oh, I gotta click off of customers. Now here's the one thing I don't like about Voyant tools is it seems like they get in a weird way that you can't like, oh, hello, this is new. I have not played with that yet. You can have links within the words, and that is beautiful. I'm not sure how I would use this exactly. Usually what I use it for is that overview of the chart here. Let's hop back to, just because I'm actually deep in this case study, let's see what this links shows us in the content. It doesn't. Oh, there we go. So, now this is interesting. A lot of successful mental team medicine. So Peak is the name of the company. So Peak is now linked with team, recommended, Ashley, integrative medicine. That's Peak Integrative Medicine is the name. But what I wonder is if there's ways that we can link Peak to health. That would be really valuable. But then Ashley is linked to more of these descriptor terms of successful, hard, difficult, felt, wanted, and they're action verbs. So that's good. It's very good. If you get too many adjectives, the content just feels a little bit boring, while action verbs are much more, but better description on the person. So with this is the interesting thing, and you can probably tell it as I talk about these tools, is these tools are useless if you don't know the context of writing quality content, if you don't know the context of SEO, the value behind this information. But this is a tool that I'll use occasionally when I want an assessment of content, especially when I'm like getting familiar with a website. I will scan a bunch of their pages and scroll through these like I'll open like 5 Voyant tools, go through their 5 most recent blog posts, and then that gives me a context to how a client's writing, why they're writing this way. And this tool is amazing. I would love for you to try it out, test it out, use it in some case studies. Well, use it in some of your own case studies, not Peak Integratives, but check out some like a business that you work for. Take a look at what they're doing and see like, oh, we have a habit of writing this phrase and it's not effective for our business. Like this is just a habit, and this is a great way to assess your own writing and find out your problems. Take a look at it, give me your feedback. I can't wait. If you are not techie like this and not a huge fan, one of the other options is a tool called Word Counter tool. I'll go over this some other day, but this tool is cool because you can copy and paste the content and it gives you a really basic breakdown. But I'll look at that another day. We already have way too much going on with Voyant tools that you can play around with. But give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you have found when researching this. I can't wait to hear from you. All right. Have a good day. Bye. Work hard, market well.